Here it is, Hawks fans, the 5 best wins that you have had this century. Now, just reiterating, these are only home and away wins. I know you've got a plethora of grand finals and prelims to choose from, so that's why we do it only home and away ones, because it makes it more interesting. Joining me is your chief feral, who's always undercover. She's always professional, but I know Nat Edwards, and I know that she is probably, even more feral than the average cheer squad member. So she's going to enjoy this. Welcome, Nat.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for saying I'm professional.
You are. You're a brilliant broadcaster, and I really enjoy watching you and listening to you and the way that you slag off Essendon at every opportunity.
Yes. I wish we could do that today.
You can.
My 5 best wins are just every time we beat Essendon. There you go. Easy done.
All right, sweet. Catch you next time. No, come on. We got some good ones here.
No, we do. We do have some really good ones.
What have you got? Number 5.
Okay, number 5 for me. We've got to go back to 2008, which was just a fantastic year because we won the flag that year. But round 22, Buddy Ton.
Oh, this...
It was against Carlton.
That's good. But to deny Favola is just one of the great arsehole moves.
Why?
Because it would have been 2 people getting their 100th goal for the first time in the same game.
Life's not fair, mate. Life is not fair. There are moments where you've got to be resilient, and that was just one of them.
Carlton fans have had a lot of resilience training.
Yeah, they have. Sorry, Blues fans. There can only be one, and there's only one.
No, there could have been, but there could have been 2.
Well, but he didn't kick the goal. If he was good enough, he would have got the job done.
This is good.
Like Buddy Franklin, who got the job done. And this was there was so much anticipation in the lead up to this game. I was there, Marvel Stadium. It would have been great if it was at the MCG as well. But
why do you Hawks fans hate the great stadium?
We don't hate
Docklands.
Docklands, Marvel Stadium, great place. But yeah, there was just so much anticipation, and you knew, and you wanted to. I mean, the AFL had said, I think in the week leading, just a reminder, it's a $6,000 fine. Ground. Everyone that was there, you knew if Buddy was getting closer, you're like, okay, how far am I to sprint down? Now, I was stationed on level 3 that game.
Yeah.
So I had to be strategic about what I was going to do. And I've made my way down. I left my best friend. She was like, I'm not doing this.
Really?
Yeah, I left her up the top. And I was like, I'm going to make my way down. And of course, kicks the goal. Bang. Over the fence with everyone else running out. I was just too far away to be the first to get
Were you running to Buddy, or do people try and, at the end of the second siren, you try and be the first one into
know what? You're trying to run to Buddy, but so is everyone else. So in the end, I was just running around being like, woo! In a circle. Got nowhere near him. And then I was like, okay, well... I guess we got to get off. So I was like, well, this is a bit boring. I'll just go back and trudge my way back to the top of Marvel Stadium.
There's always that feeling of we did it. And now what do we do?
I can't even remember what the score was, though, because it was just about Buddy. But it was great.
Oh, at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Oh, you won by 80 points.
Yeah, so whatever, but Buddy 100. It was great.
It's one of the few times where there's an 80-point game, but the 5-minute warning was still exciting.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Round 10, 2012, against North Melbourne down in Tasmania.
Okay.
It's another Buddy-esque win. I think we won in the end by 115 points, but that's not the reason this game was so good. This was one of the most enjoyable games I've ever watched, and I wasn't there live. I watched it on the couch, but Buddy Franklin kicked 13 goals that day, if you recall, and it was just the greatest. I mean, Anthony Hudson's call of 13.
He's such a good commentator. He's my favourite. I think he's my favorite of the current ones going there.
No, he is quite incredible. And he kicked his 12th and 13th goals right towards the end. And you felt to get to 10 in itself, in that day and age, 2012, it's unheard of. Scotty Cummings, I think, kicked 14 goals in 2000, and that was kind of the last time a big bag of goals had been kicked in that way. Maybe Marc Lecras also destroyed Essendon one game, and I was a big fan of the Frenchman. Loved him. But this was just incredible. 27 goals kicked on the day, 13 of them from Buddy Franklin's foot, and you were just cheering him on, and yes, when he got those last 2, it was just... You're just jumping on the couch because you've just witnessed history and something that hasn't been repeated since, but it's just quite incredible to see the athleticism. I mean, this was Buddy just before he left Hawthorn too. So, I just think it was a moment to savour and one of the best wins that I've, watched on telly.
You didn't know that Buddy was leaving at that point. You just thought...
I think we all thought that he was probably on his
way out. Because he was there in 13, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. 2012, I don't want to say what happened, but there was obviously conjecture about what he was going to do with his future. And then 2013, he was there. And then, obviously, what happened.
What happened. Yeah. But anyway, this is a happy video.
Yes, it is.
A happy video.
Buddy in his prime.
Number 3.
Round 22, 2012 again.
Okay.
Against Sydney. So this game, the minor premiership is on the line here. And this is the year. So obviously, Sydney beat us in the grand final this year, which is one of the worst days of my life.
It's the only grand final you've lost in your lifetime.
Yeah, that I've seen.
Yeah, that you've seen.
And I ugly cried, canned it.
No, I'll let you know. I've lost one grand final. Yeah, Bulldogs fans.
Okay.
You've got,
all right.
What, 12 to...
That's not my fault, okay? That's not my fault. But this one, minor premierships on the line. So Sydney Hawthorn, the two powerhouses at that time. And we trailed the Swans, actually. And then Sean Burgoyne kicks a goal with about a minute left, and just this clutch goal, and gets us within striking distance, I think. Or maybe I think we just hit the front at that point. And I just remember this sense of relief that we had got. And Shawnee Burgoyne, one of the best.
What a great player.
Oh my God.
Great
just
player.
Silk.
But still not the best player in his family.
Oh, I know.
Because of Aaron Phillips.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's actually crazy to think. And then Bradsell follows up not long after to kick the sealer. But that win, to me, just the elation and knowing that we'd sewn up the minor premiership and we'd beaten the Swans, who we had a really great and healthy rivalry with at that time too. I think that just really capped it off for me.
The second best win of the Hawthorn Football Club in home and away games since the year 2000, Nat Edwards.
2016 against Collingwood, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
Not a household name, right? He's not a household name. He'd battled away. I can't even remember. I think he played maybe a handful of games for Melbourne. He'd had injury woes. He's come across to Hawthorn. Wasn't really getting a game, but this game we were missing. Jared Ruffhead was out. Okay. Ryan Schollmakers, who was much maligned at times by some Hawthorn fans, he was out. John Segler, our ruck, was out. So Jack Fitzpatrick gets his chance in the brown and gold. And this game was I don't think Hawthorn fans really dislike Collingwood immensely. It's not the same.
But everyone does.
But right? So you want to beat Collingwood. So there's top 4 is also on the line. I think Hawthorn was down by a goal. There's 2 minutes left, and Jack Fitzpatrick wins the ball out of the centre and basically kicks a goal on the run from the centre square. It was insane. He looked more like Buddy than the battler that he was at the time. So he levels the scores at that point of the game. And then Paul Puopolo rushes a behind not long after that. And it's funny because the week before, Jack Fitzpatrick had kicked 5 behinds for Box Hill in the VFL. So lucky. And he just barreled this ball from the centre square. And I remember being there at the MCG and we just lost our minds because we're like, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Of all players.
Of all players to do that. It was incredible. And it was just a really euphoric moment for us.
I will say this just because I got the opportunity, because I know Hawthorn fans are watching this. I feel Paul Puopolo is the most underrated player in your three-peat team. He won so many clutch games.
I know. So reliable. Could take a massive specky, but it was his pressure, his tackle pressure, his 1%ers. That, for me, was what made Paul Puopolo such a standout.
Yeah. Number 1. And the best win of the Hawthorn Football Club that is not a final since the year 2000, Nat Edwards. Let's go.
Round 17, 2016. So this is after the three-peat years. And
Hawthorn was on.
Hawthorn was on.
Yeah.
It wasn't to be, unfortunately. I think we lost to the Dogs.
Yeah.
You knocked us out. I remember crying at that game, and then someone looked at me
cried
and being
too,
like,
but in the good way.
Yeah, got 3 flags. And I was like, but I wanted 4. How entitled. What an asshole. So this game against the Swans, again, it's those 2 powerhouse teams that I was talking about. There was that real rivalry, and the Swans, we always had close games. The Swans led that game by 5 points late. And it was tense. And if you don't know, Cyril Rioli is my all-time favourite Hawthorn player.
Yep.
I absolutely love
Yes.
Cyril. The 33, I wore that number on my back. And he marks just outside 50 with not long to go in the game. And I remember sitting there, because I think it was at the SCG, so we weren't there. I remember sitting there thinking, whew, I don't know that he can make the distance. So at that time, Cyril, like, shorter kicks.
Yep.
And even the commentators were like, I'm not sure he's got it in him. I think it was BT who was commentating at the time. They're like, whoa, this is going to be tricky. This could win the game. But, you know, he might fall short, because it was right on the paint. And he goes back. And he never looked in doubt. But, I mean, Cyril always had this po face. He was always so cool, calm, and collected in these moments. And he just went back and he roosted that ball. And it was never in doubt. And I remember leaping onto the couch and just fist pumping the air. It was incredible just to beat the Swans in that moment. But to have Cyril Rioli kick that goal, it was just... It was beautiful, and I will always savor that moment.
It was all those little wins that you had that made the rest of the league just go, we can't stop these pricks.
I know, and then we got stopped.
Well, yeah, but this is a happy video.
Yes, it is!
Yes.
Cyril was amazing, like, just incredible, and you can tell how much love that the other players had for him, because they all just rushed to him. But, that one's always just stuck with me. I mean, you've got all the Kennett curse when Sean Burgoyne kicked that goal in the prelim final. Like, that's probably my favourite all-time win. But the Cyril Rioli one, this one in season, it's always just stuck with me. His ability to be so clutch in that moment and a distance that would have tested him. But, yeah, pure class, Cyril Rioli.
That's Nat's list. What did she get right? What did she get wrong? You put it in the comments, you Hawthorn fans. And don't forget to listen to AFL Daily and watch Access All Areas. And how many other shows are you on? They really do just make you... It's like an MGM studio deal. You're going to make 58 pictures in a year.
Hey, we love content here at afl.com.au. That's what we love.
Let's list them all. AFL Daily.
Yeah, Footy Feed as well, which we shoot in this amazing studio. That's every day with myself and Sarah Ollie. And then Access All Areas, Lloydie and Damo on Monday mornings. Happy days. We're having fun.
Sweet. Just always go to afl.com.au and are you Channel 7 this year?
A little bit, yeah.
Sweet. Just watch Channel 7 as well. Just watch all footy all the time. I mean, hey, you're watching a YouTube video about Hawthorn's best wins. I reckon you're going to do that anyway.
Yeah.